information guitar instructional series that I'm doing for Instagram, YouTube, and now Facebook. So you've been playing guitar for a little bit, you've learned some songs, you've learned some chords, and now you want to shred like your guitar idols. So you go and look up guitar scales online, or you buy a book, and you're overwhelmed by all the information out there. You want to light your guitar on fire, you're depressed. So though I think it was cool when Jimi Hendrix lit his guitar on fire, I don't think it's a good idea for you to do that to your parents' Christmas gift that they got you last year. So I'm going to save the guitar. I'm going to save you a little bit of heartache and some time. So we all kind of learn the same scales when we get started, which is just a major scale or a natural minor, or we're trying to learn all the modes associated with them, and it just seems like a lot. Well, what I found worked for me was to break the scales down into patterns that you would notice recurring as you're learning these scales, that are easy to digest. And I would take those patterns and I would practice them with a metronome. So first, before I even started getting into the scales, I would take those patterns on one string, and in this case it's going to be 3-note per string patterns, and just practice them to a metronome in different combinations, ascending, descending, and then eventually I would work to go from string to string, all while alternate picking sometimes, or legato, which we'll go over in a future lesson. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over the 3 patterns that I found using these scales. I call them 1-3-5, 1-2-4, and 1-3-4. So let's take a closer look at it, and I'll show you exactly why I call it this and my techniques for helping me get better acquainted with these patterns. All right, so as we were discussing before, we're going to take your typical B major scale, which is played like so. So what do we see there? We see 3 distinct patterns that I call 1-3-5, 1-2-4, and 1-3-4. So 1-3-5, what I mean is if you're going over the course of 5 frets, you're fretting 1, you're skipping the 2nd fret, you're going to the 3rd, you're skipping the 4th, you're going to the 5th. So it's and for this, if it's a short stretch, if it's higher up on the fretboard, you might get away with using your index finger, your middle finger, and your pinky, but I use index, ring, and pinky in this case. So that's 1-3-5. The second one is 1-2-4, which is this. So over the course of the 4 frets, you're doing the 1st, 2nd, you're skipping the 3rd, and you're fretting the 4th. And then the last one is 1-3-4, which looks like this. So you're doing the 1st, you're skipping the 2nd fret, you're doing the 3rd, and the 4th. So the 3 are 1-3-5, 1-2-4, 1-3-4. So what I like to do is I like to practice these with a metronome in ascending and descending patterns. So I'll just take one of those patterns, I'll set up a metronome, I'll practice it at a certain speed, and when I feel comfortable with that speed, I'll move the metronome up a few more beats per minute. You can find metronomes online. You can just Google metronome and one will pop up. It's very easy. It shows how many beats per minute are on there. You don't have to go out and even buy metronomes anymore like back in the day. So let's try it here. We're going to start at 63 beats per minute. And I'll just give you an example. Doing 1-3-5. Now you can do it descending too. Now 1-2-4. 1-3-5. 1, 3, 4. You can do it descending. Quick disclaimer here. So when you're starting to practice these patterns, you're going to want to start slow and gradually work your way up. So start something that seems almost painfully slow. Actually, believe it or not, it's going to help your timing a lot. It's actually sometimes harder to play to a very slow click than to be able to play a little faster. So start slow and gradually increase the beats per minute, maybe by 5, 10 beats per minute, depending on where you're starting from, and go up to a point where you're challenging yourself and you're not able to play clean anymore. And then you're gonna wanna back off maybe 5, 10 beats per minute. And you're gonna wanna get that comfortable and then gradually move it up maybe in smaller increments, maybe only a couple beats per minute, till you get to a point where what was giving you a problem before feels more comfortable. And then you can push it up to whatever speed your goal is to play it at. So that's what's worked for me over the years, and hopefully it works for you. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this episode of the 6-String Domination Guitar Instructional Series. So just a disclaimer. So I understand that for maybe intermediate, advanced people, this seems very obvious. But my whole goal with this series is for people who are just getting started, who find learning these scales or techniques very daunting. And these are things that, like, I had wished that someone had showed me while I was learning. I kind of had to learn the hard way. I was mostly self-taught. I mean, once YouTube came, obviously, you're able to have endless amounts of instruction and help with these things. But these are like little plateaus, things that help me overcome plateaus as I was playing. And I figure maybe it'll help other people, you know, who don't think. Maybe you watch an advanced guitar lesson and this is something that's kind of assumed that you know. And I think there's a lot more people out there that are just learning to play, or just learning, in this case, to learn scales or play lead guitar, that they don't know this, you know. And I wish that someone had shown me some of this stuff when I was just starting out, because it would have saved me a lot of time, and it would have been quite helpful. So I appreciate everyone for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube. Feel free to leave comments for any suggestions for future videos that you guys want. Any questions pertaining to this lesson, please feel free to comment. I will get back to all of you. Okay, and I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Bye.